Good evening and welcome to Dad Bods, Crab Cakes, and Sports. Jason here with Mike and John. I hope everybody's doing well this evening, or if you're listening to us on your drive in to work or wherever you're going. I guess enjoying the last few days of summer, unless you live in Florida, which we've addressed. We are already a month back into school. Mike, how's it going there? Anything exciting and new?
I think this time of year Julie gets on me because I think I accidentally become grumpy because I'm going back to school. So I think that started here in the Frisky household, and I also start to make myself feel better by eating horrible things and trying to have as much fun as possible in the last 3 days of summer, playing excessive amounts of golf and doing all the things that I'm trying to jam into the last few days of summer. But we had a soccer tournament, Jason, this weekend in Gettysburg. So I was hanging out with the kids and had a lot of fun. Didn't do a ton of winning. Actually, we didn't do any winning. We had a tie and a couple losses, but we made it to the somehow still made it to the semifinals, and the girls had an overall pretty good weekend. So we made some memories. They'll have some fun.
So there was no winning. So you didn't win a game, but you made it to the semifinals.
Yes, we did, because there's three teams in your bracket, and there's three teams in the opposite bracket, and they just pool play all three teams. And the top two teams go to the semifinals, and they play cross 1 and 2 cross each other. So we were the second team because we tied the other team and lost less to the first place team. We lost 2-0. They lost 4-0 to the first place team. So we lost in the semifinals 3-0 to a really strong squad. And we are in that situation where we don't practice year round. So, but our parents are understand when we go in these tournaments sometimes that some of these teams are really good.
Outstanding. John, what about you? Where are you? Are you in? You look like you're in a cave somewhere with a bed picture in the background.
Yeah, I'm at Mandalay Bay in Las Vegas. The Raiders Stadium is right outside my window. I'm looking at Allegiant Stadium outside my window. I just took a couple days off and went to Vegas for a few days. Spent some time, most of the time at the pool, a little time putting a few shekels in the slot machine, and
Outstanding.
Just hanging out.
Have you donated for their new highway out there yet by the amount of money that you've put in there?
No, actually, Mike and I were just talking about that. No, I come and gamble on a budget. I only had a certain amount of cash with me, and I still have probably half of that cash. So it's actually not been bad. It's been pretty good.
How many days have you been there?
I got in early Friday morning, so Friday, Saturday, today, and I leave tomorrow.
Outstanding. Well, that's fabulous. I'm glad to hear it. Well, I don't know what to tell you to bet on other than I play blackjack and roulette most of the time. And what's that other game called? Oh, I can't even remember it. Baccarat. That's really the only games I like to play there. I mean, every time I put my money in a slot machine, I feel like I'm being ripped off. So I really can't. I'd rather someone rip me off by physically punching me in the face at the blackjack table when I the dealer's flipping you off because I won again. I'd rather have that than put it in this machine and never see it again. I don't know what it is. I just can't do it. Now I have won a couple times, but nothing to anything crazy. We took my brother to Vegas for his bachelor party, and as soon as we walked in, our flight landed at 10 o'clock at night, and we walked into this casino. A couple of us went to find food and bring back. My brother was in the high roller slots area for whatever reason, and I'm I don't know how he ended up in there. Well, he pulls the lever as I walk over, and he hits for $7,800 on this machine. I went, oh man!
You know what that's called, Jason?
Fantastic.
You know what that's called? That's called beginner's luck.
No, he's not a beginner. This stuff happens to my brother all the time. My brother bets on he'll be watching on the Twin Spires horse racing app, some Saudi Arabian racetrack in the middle of the night. And he's like, yeah, I just won $5,000. I was like, what in the hell? How does that even happen? And how do you whatever?
I'm a great wingman when it comes to casino. I go and I sit down next to you and you will win. I guarantee it. I will lose all of my money, but you will win. I promise.
Oh, that's fantastic. Well, I'll bring you next time because
Yeah.
I've been on a little. Actually, I was on a hot streak when I went to Atlantic City in December last year. It's like every night we did like the same thing, roulette and then blackjack, and I ended up playing blackjack for like 6 hours one night. But it's because I just couldn't walk away, and I'm like, oh, and it wasn't like a crazy like high rolling table. It was only like $5 or $10 a hand. So I was like, oh. And I just kept winning and winning and winning, winning, and then would lose a little bit, but then win more. And I was just like, oh, I guess I can't leave this table at all. And then I looked down, it's like 4 o'clock in the morning. I was like, oh, this is insane. And of course, I'm still like, yeah, I'll take another drink. Yeah, I'll take another drink. And then I finally get up and I'm like, oh, I shouldn't have got up. I don't know how I'm gonna I'm gonna navigate myself back to where I gotta go. But that's a good time. Well, John, I wish you the best of luck. I hope you can win something on your last few hours there. So,
Yeah, I'm doing okay. Like, and the way I'm looking at this is this hotel room like costs about $350 a night, and I'm not paying for it. So it'd be over well over $1,000, over about $1,300, if I had to pay for it. So I'm not gambling $1,300. So you know what? Basically, you either pay for the hotel room or you go gamble. Either or.
Very true. Very true. I've definitely been there. All right. Well, I actually just got back from the Opal Sands Hotel that I went yesterday for my birthday, which is coming up this week. But my wife got me a present. She took me to this hotel. It was kind of cool, except it rained all day yesterday and all day today.
Ugh.
So we didn't get to the beach or the pool. But it was fun though. We did there were a couple of little breaks where we did a whole bunch of walking around and stuff without children. So it was kind of cool. But that's all going on here.
Hey, Ace of Spades, I have no I looked at the stadium and it's basically just a hole in the ground right now. So I don't think I have any inkling to go purchase some season tickets for the Vegas Athletics. I don't think that's gonna happen.
I wouldn't support that team if someone like paid me to support that team. Ugh, what a mess. Okay, speaking of losing, John and I lost to Mike. As Mike has
Can you say that one more time? Just one more time, I didn't hear you.
Yes, I know. Mike, you get excited because it happens so infrequently.
So rare. Yes. I know.
But Mike did defeat John and I in the guessing of or the predicting of Oriole wins. Mike said he would be kissing his sister at 3-3. John and I lost. I said 2-4, and John said 4-2. And the O's did. They went 3-3 over the last week, and they were pretty exciting games for the most part. A couple of duds here and there, but for the most part, pretty exciting against Boston, and then 4 against Houston. Mike, you have a punishment for John and I, or did you want to carry it over to next? Like, what do you want to do?
No, I definitely have a punishment for you guys. So here's the deal. After each segment that we have this evening, you need to come up with a fake sponsor and like a fake ad. So for example, like this segment was brought to you by H&R Rental Cars. From the wheels fall off on your podcast, they'll take care of like something like that. So you got to have a fake sponsorship for each segment that we have this evening. Each
segment, we don't have that many segments this time though, so we're not going to get
enough. There's at least 3 or 4.
Okay. 2, 3, 4, 10, 11, 12. Perfect. Okay. Excellent. Well, that sounds good. We will definitely do that. So our first segment of the evening is obviously the Orioles, a recap of what's been going on with them. As we said, they went 3-3 over the last week. But the big news, guys, was the extension of Samuel Bassallo for that 8 years. I believe it was $68 million and change, something along those lines. To me, it makes a lot of sense why it happened and how it happened. It's probably not the extension everybody was hoping for. But as we've talked about in the past, some of those other ones are much more complicated. But Mike, you and I were talking through text a little bit, how for me, it makes sense because a lot of these Dominican or international players, they seem to sign a lot quicker. And I think it really might be their upbringing of really not having any money, not being in the States, being very poor growing up, and him being Dominican. It's to me, it's like this is like hitting the lottery, and I think it works out for both sides.
Oh, I agree, Jason. I definitely think there's a cultural aspect to it, a socioeconomic aspect to it. And I think um, the Orioles did a good job of taking advantage of the situation of having a young player who they really believe in and locking him up for the foreseeable future. And if you look at how the contract is kind of laid out, it's like he's making $1 million for a few years, and then it kind of ramps up as his career we would hope would ramp up. But you end up with a very, very reasonable contract in which you can still sign some of these other guys that you want to sign and have plenty of room to do it, which is the exciting part. Now the question is, will they assign some of these other guys that we've kind of been hoping that they will sign long term? So I think that the number one thing with this signing though is that the Orioles have finally done it. They finally extended somebody long term. We've been waiting for that for a long, long time. And it's a good young player. So I'm excited that we have something to build around, but now let's see what they do beyond that.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely risky. We talked about this with Jackson Holiday because everyone wanted them to immediately sign him as soon as they were going to bring him up for the first time last year. But I don't think the Orioles are regretting not signing him yet. You know, it's funny because that number that Basallo just got, to me, you could – I mean, any of those guys currently outside of Gunnar, I mean, that would kind of be the number I was thinking anyway. But these guys aren't going to take that number. So like Westberg to me would be, I mean, I'm saying right now 6, 7, 8 years or whatever at, I mean, it'll be 90 to 100 million. I think the outside of Adley, John, I think most of these guys are going to be signing for a minimum of $100 million. But you can't none of these guys have any bargaining chips right now, except for Gunnar potentially. You know, it's like, so why would they want to go ahead and take these extensions? Because what Basallo just signed is to me, I would sign that every single one of these guys to that deal, but they're just not going to take it.
Right, and I think that you're spot on there with the Dominicans and the coming up from a poor place, and this is sort of like similar to the Scottie Pippen type thing that the Bulls did. I remember guys watched The Last Dance where Scottie signed that contract because it was guaranteed money, and he gets hurt, whatever, he's still getting paid. So for a guy like Basallo, this is guaranteed money. This is guaranteed that he'll be taken care of regardless of, what happens to him on the field if he gets hurt or has a career-ending injury or something of that nature. So for him, it really helps. And then for the Orioles also, not having a salary cap obviously is different than, if we were talking about the NFL or something. But he really opens up some more cash to have to throw at other people or to, bring in the higher end free agents if we can. And I think that's going to, enable us to hopefully do some of those things down the road.
Yeah. And it's like by getting him out of the way right away, John, it does allow them to start to continue. Now, a lot of guys out there and a lot of people that I read about or that I read what they write and I hear them that are a lot smarter than me. I mean, they don't think all of a sudden this is going to be this, the floodgates are going to open and everyone's going to start signing. But this, Mike, to me is a huge step for the organization to prove okay, look, all these other guys, yeah, we want you here. We just have to get on the same page on what you're worth and how we're going to do it. And it's quite clear to me that I just don't think the Boris guys are going to do it. I could be wrong. I just don't think they're going to do it anytime soon. Maybe Westberg because of his injury history, quote unquote, whatever the hell this is.
Yeah, I don't know. I think Mike Elias, I just don't trust him completely yet. I know he said this is kind of the signaling of an era, maybe the changing of an era for the Orioles. I do like, again, like I said, that they're finally locking up somebody long term. I think Westberg is most likely the next candidate probably for this. Potentially Jackson Holiday, if they like what they see from him this year. I think they could lock him up long term. But Jason, you make a great point. Like, it's all about the terms of the contract. That's really what matters. And some of these guys want Boris is telling them, you just got to go get paid. Either wait for your payday, don't take this shortchanged method of kind of getting money early. Bet on yourself and see what happens when you hit free agency. And the closer that they get to free agency, the more likely they are to wait it out until they get to free agency. So that's why I say maybe Holiday, besides, even though we like Gunnar, I think Gunnar has a better track record. He's getting closer to free agency, whereas Jackson Holiday might be more likely to sign a deal. But you're going to have to offer him probably 150, I'm going to guess, for like a Jackson Holiday, at least 120. It's got to be more than what Basallo got. That's my opinion.
Yeah. And I mean, that's what number one, I mean, he was a number one draft pick compared to an international signing, and so they're in just different ballparks as far as that goes. But where it gets me is I don't know if I'm ready to, I mean, dude, if you could sign Holiday for under $200 million, I would do it tomorrow, because the longer you wait, I mean, you can see the flashes, and it's like, this is year one. This is not year two. So whoever wants to say this is year two for him is crazy, because he was trying to figure out a million different things last year. This is his first full year in the majors. Next year's year two. And that's usually when that jumping point goes off. I don't know what's going on with Gunnar. All I do know is if they want to sign him, this thing wouldn't even sniff Soto money. So we're still in the ballpark for all these guys. But as far as who I think could be the next one, there's two. I think Trevor Rogers. I think if this is the one you go get now, and you don't do anything crazy, you do 5 or 6 years, and you throw 100 million, whatever it is you got to do. Maybe he might not demand that quite as much, but if you wait after this year and next year, it's going to be even more. And it's going to be, as long as he stays healthy, it'll be more. So that one, and then Colton Cowser. I think Cowser, I don't know if they've quite figured out where he is, but he still hasn't played a whole season this year. Like, this was he didn't come until June. So John, for me, like, Mike obviously thinks that the next one could be Jackson Holiday. I'm thinking Trevor Rogers / Colton Cowser. What are your thoughts?
That's kind of what I was under the kind of in the Colton Cowser, Trevor Rogers boat of things. I think those two guys, if this is the Rogers you're going to be getting, and you're going to be getting this every year, which, obviously remains to be seen. But if you're going to be getting this, he's going to be getting, $200-300 million over 10, 12 years. And I don't think the Orioles are going to be shelling out those kind of contracts. So I think that, they got to lock them up. And like, here's the thing, like with Holiday, okay, like you said, 1 full year, and we see what he can do. But, what is dad going to say? What is, that family has experience in dealing with all of this, plus this Boris guy. So they're going to have, if the Orioles sign all these guys, in my opinion, they would basically have five $100 million plus contracts on the books minimum. And then if we want them to bring in some other guys, then they're going to have to open the wallet, and we're going to have half a dozen or more $100 million plus guys on our roster.
Well, we should do. If you look at the contract extensions that some of those Red Sox guys did, Rafaela, and some of those might be similar type contracts in my mind, and I would love those contracts, but none of those crack like the 70, 80, $90 million marks. If you guys remember, like, I'm almost positive. So that would be like the Colton Cowser of it. That would be the Trevor. I don't know about Trevor Rogers because he's a pitcher, but maybe even Jackson Holiday right now. Like these are young guys that haven't really proven a whole bunch. So there is something to be said about getting guys in early before they start going nuts. But that won't be the same for Westberg and Gunnar because they're already all-stars. So they're obviously going to be more expensive.
Roman Anthony was 8 years, 130, I think. So, I mean, if you're looking at a comp.
Well, he's the exception to that. The reason I said the other two guys, Mike, was because Roman Anthony was one of that was like a top 3 prospect in all of baseball. The other two guys were not.
But if you're comparing him to like a Gunnar Henderson or like a Jackson Holiday, maybe that's the kind of comp you're looking at for one of their contracts. If you're looking at somebody who was highly touted and somebody who you want to get 6 to 8 years, you're looking at a minimum of what Roman Anthony probably got for them to start at.
Well, I mean, I think Gunner's not even. I mean, Gunner's already past that.
Well, Gunner's beyond it. But if you're looking at Jackson Holiday, I mean, at least.
I think Jackson's already past it too because he's already had a full year of. I mean, like we're almost done this full year here of Major League Baseball. Roman Anthony just came in, where it's to me it's almost comparable to. I guess Kelsey's the one I keep coming back to. Just because talent-wise, I'm starting to think I compare him more to those other guys, but not Roman Anthony. He's not in the same category as him. So I don't know. We'll have to play this one out. I mean, it's going to be quite interesting, I'll tell you. And some of this is going to change too, based on who they decide to bring in. You know, and then also just for everyone paying attention, I don't think it's a foregone conclusion, guys, that Adley's out the door here, Mike. Just because they signed this kid doesn't mean they can't coexist. So I think that doesn't show me anything. Like I'm not ready to jump to any conclusions.
Yeah, there's an article that Adley's excited about mentoring this young guy. I mean, I think that can only be a really good thing for Samuel Bassallo because Adley's strength is calling a game, kind of keeping his pitching staff feeling good about themselves day in and day out, and just having a high character. And I think that can only help Samuel Bassallo as he develops into, if not a part-time, full-time catcher eventually for the Orioles. So I think that's a good thing for the Orioles. Now, does that mean that Adley's we're going to be here long-term? I'm not certain about that, but I don't see why they don't keep him around at least an extra year. I don't think they need to go trading him immediately to be a mentor. We've talked, John, first base is a possibility for Bassallo a little bit, maybe even Adley a little bit. We have Kobe Mayo. Those guys can rotate, DH a little bit. And there's plenty of space for these guys on our roster the way it's currently constructed. Now, Jason, we've talked about obviously going out and getting some free agency to kind of fill some of those gaps. So some of that's going to determine maybe how long Adley stays. But we'll see what that looks like moving forward. But I'm with you. I don't think that we need to immediately deal Adley Rutschman because we just signed Bassallo to a big deal or whatever that you might call it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think they need to deal him. I don't think that they need to extend him to anything outstanding, which they weren't going. I really have the feeling that they weren't going to give a catcher like Adley a huge extension anyway. They were going to probably let him walk, but he's kind of, unfortunately for Adley, his play has brought him back into like the realm of a very easy extension if they wanted to do it. So I don't know, John, like I know you were on the wagon thinking that this was it for Adley, but I mean, I'm not convinced. Have you changed on that stance?
Yeah, I don't. I think Adley contributes to the team in a much. Again, I've said this before, and I'm gonna go back to it again. Adley Rutschman is simply a younger version of Jason Varitek. He's a good leader in the clubhouse. He's a matchup problem for opposing pitching staffs as a switch hitting catcher. He knows the game of baseball. He understands the game of baseball. He understands how to control pitchers, how to own and run a pitching staff, and being another coach on the field. And those kind of things are very, are the unseen things that are very hard to come by. And I think the thing is they're going to probably have to move him or Bassallo to first base, and then they'll figure everything else out. But I think though that Adley is too valuable in terms of an offensive matchup problem, being a switch hitter, that I don't see them really trading him. The odd man out then would be like a Mayo, and that would be the only other thing to talk about would be what do they do with him.
John, you're going to make me mad again. you're going to make me mad again. Why are you insistent upon shipping guys out of here? Like, what is, dude? Honestly, I really want to know. Like, just you see what happened this year with all the injuries. You've seen underdevelopment or the not yet developed player. What makes you think that the Orioles at all have the um what word am I looking for? That they have the luxury of shipping any of these guys out. So what's the hurry, John? Like these guys have to prove themselves.
Well, my thing is not wanting to ship them out, but my thing is needing starting pitching, needing other things that, you know what, we have these luxuries on the big league roster already who may be able to pull other big leaguers in into the roster, onto the team, so that we can maybe get a starting pitcher, maybe get a back end, reliever help, depending on, what happens to Bautista and how his recovery and everything goes like that. I'm not saying just get rid of them for the sake of getting rid of them, but use that to hopefully bring in a starting pitcher, bring in something else that we desperately need. But right now with Rogers, the way he's pitching, if he can pitch like this, that may be an answer that we don't need anymore.
Right. I mean, to me, if Rogers keeps doing what he's, I mean, he's pitched better than any Major League Baseball player in the second half of this baseball season. Like, there's no one better right now. And there's no one better in the history of the Orioles in this stretch that he's gone. So he's doing some historic things. I mean, to me, it's an ace in the making. Along with Bradish, you have two aces. Now, maybe that means that you only need to go get one ace instead of what I originally thought was to get two. You still need to get a top-end pitcher. Obviously, we've discussed that. But keep in mind, John, if you are going to trade for pitching, most of the time you're going to trade for a team that isn't quite competing, because any of these teams ready to win the World Series next year or make the playoffs, they're not giving up any of their starting pitching. Okay. So unless they got a guy waiting in the wings, it's like the next Paul Skeens or something along those lines. Right. So all these guys that we just got in these trade deadlines, these young guys, those are going to be the pieces that people are going to want because they're not ready to win in the next couple of years. Right. So you don't have to give up a Mayo who's already in the majors. You don't have to give up. You might, if you want to go out and get Paul Skeens, you might have to give up a couple of those guys. But that's just, let's get back to reality here. That's just never going to happen. So, I mean, that's my thought process. Mike, sorry, I don't know if you have anything to add to this one, but I did want to, because John always wants to give away all of our good players.
Well, yeah, I don't. To play devil's advocate, it would just be, if you are going to trade Adley, the longer you wait, I mean, there's two ways you can think about it. It could be he could increase his value by playing well, because he really hasn't stayed healthy this year long enough to see him play to the caliber he played at early on in his career. But you're also getting closer to free agency in 2028 when he becomes a free agent. So you have to play that game. Like, don't wait until the summer of his free agent year to trade Adley Rutschman. If you're going to trade him, make sure he has at least a year to 2 years left, so you're going to get real value for him. Don't make him a rental later on. I just don't want to see them wait to that. If they're going to trade him, don't wait till that point. That's what I would say.
Yeah. And Donovan here chimed in, and he thinks we should sign Gunnar to a 9-year, $270 million offer. I mean, that, if he goes out and has another all-star season, that's realistic. I mean, and that would still be his steal. Anything under $300 million in my mind. But the issue is, like, and I keep bringing this up, what is the Gunnar that you're going to be paying for? Are you getting MVP, top 3 or 4 Gunnar Henderson? Or are you getting what you have right now, which is a very good baseball player, but not worth $270 million over 9 years? At least that's my opinion.
Well, and Jason,
I think
you got to remember.
Sorry, go ahead, Mike. John. Sorry.
Well, the thing you got to remember, and I think this has made a big difference, was he didn't have a spring training. He didn't actually start playing baseball until the end of April, the beginning of May. So I'm going to give Gunnar the benefit of the doubt that if he gets a full offseason healthy, gets a full spring training where he's healthy and able to work on the little things that he needs to work on, I think that we're going to get that all-star caliber guy, the MVP guy, next season.
And Mike, you wanted to say something?
Yeah, no, when you talk about Gunnar, I think you have to start. I know that they're not exactly the same player, but you got to start with Bobby Witt Jr.'s contract, which was 11 years, $288 million. So I know that Bobby Witt is probably shown to be a little bit better at this point than Gunnar. But, the money only goes up as time goes by. So I think that's kind of a starting point for a highly drafted shortstop in his prime. So I think you need to keep an eye on that number to start.
Well, see, that's a really good point, because why didn't the Orioles start with that when they offered him stuff in spring training? That should have been the starting point coming off of an almost MVP season with Bobby Witt, by the way. So it's like that, to me, that should be the starting point. Don't lowball this kid. But I mean, if they offer him Bobby Witt's thing tomorrow, that would be, I'd buy it. John's right. Like, he did miss a good portion of spring training. Here's something else though. And if the Orioles can make themselves better by going out and getting additional hitters, maybe 1-2 guys they sit in the middle, specifically the middle of that order, it makes Westberg better. It makes Gunnar better. It makes Adley better. And the other thing, Gunnar is putting up his numbers, and he doesn't have anyone around him. Like, they can pitch to Gunnar, right? Because Westberg's out of the lineup because he's hurt. Adley's hurt. So they just have to face Gunnar. Like, so to me, it's like, okay, he's still putting up pretty good numbers because of that. And if they get him help, it's going to cost the Orioles more money in many different ways, including the players they brought in and Gunnar. So, okay. Again, we could do this all night. It's fabulous. I love it. Great opinions, fellas. We do have to pick our how the Orioles are going to finish. There's 7 games this week, 4 against Boston at home, 3 on the road in San Francisco. John, do you have a prediction on how you want, or Mike, you can go first. You won. What's your prediction?
4-3.
Oh, you did take this. Oh, that's the easy road. Good, John.
Is that easy? Is that the easy road?
I'll say 3-4.
Oh, John, you're like a yo-yo. Last week you were like 4-2. This
Well,
week,
they almost did. They just blew they blew the game on Saturday.
Yeah, and they almost finished 2-4, and yet they won today. So is what it is. I am going to would you say, Mike, 4-3? I'm going to say 5. I'm going to say 5-2.
Ooh, I like it.
Yes. So that is my prediction. And just remember, everyone out there, that this segment is brought to you by Lobster Ice Cream. The shit sucks. It's terrible, but it's still ice cream.
Well, Jason,
well done, Jason.
And remember, Jason, also, this is brought to you by Dad Bod Gym. This episode is brought to you by Dad Bod Gym, where the only six-pack you'll ever see is in the fridge. Why pay $50 a month to lift weights when you can work out by carrying groceries in one trip, wrestling your kids into car seats, or mowing the lawn with a push mower that hasn't been serviced since 1997? Dad Bod Gym. Real strength, real sweat, 0 abs.
You use ChatGPT. You are a cheater.
Of course he did. He doesn't.
Oh my God.
John wakes up. He sets his alarm to ChatGPT, for Christ's sake. Oh, you wait till the next one. Yeah, this is gonna be a good one. All right. So let's let's talk some Ravens. Okay, so the Ravens just got done bludgeoning the what's that team in Washington called? Whatever that team's called, to death. For their final preseason game, they looked like they were ready to start hitting people for real, Mike. So, I mean, another undefeated preseason. Not surprised. Again, winning isn't easy, so you got to start some point. Why not in the preseason?
If there was a Super Bowl for the preseason, man, we'd be like 10-time champs. No, I think winning breeds winning, so there is something to be said about playing well in the preseason. It also says a lot about the ability of the Ravens to have just depth within their organization year in and year out. They draft really well. You know, John, you made the point about undrafted free agents. They do a great job with that too. And they bring all these guys in there and they compete at a high level. And, clearly they're better than the backups from these other teams. Year in and year out. We prove it. So, and then when you see roster cut down day come, you're going to see some of these guys probably latch on elsewhere. Because just think about the running back depth that they have right now. They have Rasheen Ali as their fourth running back potentially, but then you have Dearness Johnson, who played really well in the preseason, and you have Myles Gaskin, who came and signed late and played pretty well in the stints as a returner and as a running back for us. So they've showcased a couple other guys. They're not keeping 6 running backs, and you have injuries, and you're not going to stash everybody on your practice squad. So some of these guys are performing for elsewhere, which is really interesting to see. But of all the things that happened in the Commanders game on Saturday, Tyler Loop just being strong and hitting 3 of 3 and hitting 1 from 61. I think he was 9 of 11 in the preseason altogether. Just kind of solidifying that job as kicker has made me pretty happy.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I don't like to do the whole kicker thing, but just make your kicks. And you know what? That's easier said than done. I'm not a kicker, obviously. I'm not a professional football player. So I kind of also don't want to get caught up in like having to worry about a kicker during the season. So not worrying about it now and being like surprised and just like, yep, this guy just, when they look, and a draft pick on a kicker, I trust. When it comes to special teams players and kickers and stuff, punters, it's whatever and if they can get guys that they don't have to draft, awesome. But if they are willing to draft all their confidence in there, and they have me bought in. Johnny, are you Jet GPT?
Oh yeah, sorry. You guys, I don't know. The internet here is a little wonky, but yeah, no. I think that it's just the thing with the Ravens is when players come in, they know what they're going to expect. They have stability in the coaching staff. They have stability throughout the organization. So they just grab guys who they know are going to fit the scheme in the system, and then when they come in the locker room, they're held to a high expectation, and these guys know that expectation. So like Sanders punching the guy yesterday in the Bills-Bucks game, that doesn't happen in Baltimore because they're not going to put up with that. And granted, he did get cut, but he would have been cut before he even left the field in Baltimore if he pulled that nonsense. So, I think that's one thing that you can say is Harbaugh's been here for, 17 years, and he's kept a steady ship. We haven't had lots of turnover, in the same way that a lot of other teams have had. So, as I see them bringing in these guys, they're all the guys they bring in, talk about the running back room. They're all successful because they're brought in knowing that, they have to uphold to the Ravens standard of doing things. And that standard is a high standard.
Yeah, and sorry, I'm doing arts and crafts over here. I'm cutting up our names so we have to pick for our fantasy football position battle here shortly. But yeah, look, it all starts, like you guys are saying, with the organization, top to bottom, and us as Baltimore sports fan, I always have to dial it back when I see these guys, these folks, and I see the stuff they post, and we're very fair weather as a community as a whole, but we should be very grateful and feel very blessed to have the type of organization and the stability that we have. It's why I've been envious for so long over Mike Tomlin and the Steelers, because it's great continuity. But if you put together, I would never want to give up what we have here, Mike. And one day it's going to end, I would assume. And it'll be a very sad day because I don't want to, I can't take another Orioles situation here with the football team.
Yeah, you live in the moment, obviously, and for Ravens fans, having experienced the last few years, just great regular season success, and then just the lack of success in the postseason to match that regular season success, you can get caught in that instant of just understanding that it's Super Bowl or bust, but only one team lifts the Lombardi Trophy every year. So the fact that we are in it every single year as a Ravens fan, you have an opportunity to watch playoff football basically 90% of the time. And then, only one team is going to be excited and 31 others are going to be upset every year or whatever that is. And I think you got to remember that not only that, but also just the way that they put together a team that's fun to watch, competitive, hold a high standard. You can say what you want about John Harbaugh as a football coach. He's a great man. He is a leader of men, and they run the organization the right way from Steve Bisciotti, Eric DaCosta on down in the organization. So that's an excellent organization from top to bottom. What I wanted to talk to you guys about briefly with the Ravens is the roster makeup. And I know, Jason, you said it's way too early, and we've been talking about it on and off over the last few weeks. But just to get into a couple of details with the roster, I think, with quarterback, I think they're going to run with their two quarterbacks, Lamar and Cooper Rush. What did you guys think of Devin Leary, with the quarterback room?
I don't think of Devin Leary. I mean, if they want to put him on the practice squad, that's fine. He's not going anywhere. So if they think that they can coach him up or get any more, I just think that what you see is what you got, and I think they could go a different direction, especially if they have to use a third quarterback at some point this year, God forbid. But I mean, there might be some cuts too where they can snag somebody and put them on the practice squad or whatnot. But I think they're only going to activate two quarterbacks, and they'll have the emergency guy every time. But no, I don't think Devin Leary makes this team.
Yeah, I don't see him. I don't see any way that he makes the team. I think that they're more likely to go sign Huntley than Leary making the team, because he just didn't show up. And you can blame whatever you want to blame. Blame the offensive line. Blame whatever. But there was throws that I saw that it's like that should have been a easy pitch and catch completion, and he just didn't seem to have a good grasp of the offense. And if the moment was too big for him, possibly you stash him on the practice squad. Hope that maybe he can develop it and be a career backup, a Josh McCown type guy or something.
Well, looking at Clifton Brown's 53-man roster that he put out yesterday, he predicts that the Ravens have 4 running backs on the roster: Derrick Henry, Justice Hill, Keaton Mitchell, and Rasheen Ali. Do you guys agree that the 4th running back on this team is Rasheen Ali? There's been some rumors possibly of one of those guys getting dealt, like an Ali getting dealt, because they have a Dearness Johnson or a Myles Gaskins that they could go to. There's been a lot of talk of keeping 4 running backs on the roster. What are your thoughts on running back?
John, you can take this one first.
Well, I think they're going to keep 4. I think just the way that they play, they need that other, the running back, and having a key. I would say, last year it was a lot more important to carry 4 because Keaton Mitchell wasn't back yet, and now with Keaton Mitchell, Justice Hill, and Derrick Henry, it's good. It's a solid room, but that 4th back is just, I think, going to, be able to allow them to use him to return kicks, to do other things, and to take, when we're up, if we're up 40 to 3, getting him more experience, more showtime in a game, so that you mentioned dealing him. That if Ali gets some reps in a game and shows that he can play in the league and play well, like he had, I mean, he's done this already, but even more so, then there's another trade piece if we need, something out throughout the season.
I tend to think that they keep 3 on the active roster each game, and that there's obviously the rest of them are on the practice squad. So when they do that, I think Ali, I think he could get traded personally. I mean, I think he might have shown enough. Dearness Johnson, I don't know if they could sneak him on the practice squad or not. But yeah, I mean, I think you go 3 active every game, and then you have somebody off. Unless they see, but here's the thing: Justice Hill plays special teams. So with Justice Hill playing special teams, they might need to have another guy activated. So I don't know.
Okay. I think receivers are pretty set. I think you guys would most likely agree with me that it's Flowers, Bateman, Hopkins as the top 3, with Tylan Wallace, Devontae Walker, and LeJontay Wester as the other 3 receivers. I don't know that Dayton Wade or any of those guys played themselves onto the team. I think they have a good shot at making the practice squad. Offensive linemen: Ronnie Stanley, Voorhees, Linderbaum, Falalele, Rosengarten, Ben Cleveland, Noteboom are all pretty much locks, with Corey Bullock and Carson Vincent likely the next 2 on the team. So that's 9 linemen. The next position battle that I'm curious of your opinion on, and I think, again, the tight ends, we have Kohler likely and then Mark Andrews, is outside linebacker. We have Van Noy, Owe, Tavius Robinson, Mike Green. David Ajabo, I think, sneaks in with the injury to Adisa Isaac. Do you guys have any thoughts on, do they take a sixth outside linebacker, or is it just those guys? And is Ajabo, do you think he's a lock to make this roster now?
Who were the other outside linebackers that were on the bubble? Was Buchanan an inside or an outside?
Buchanan's an inside linebacker.
Okay, that's what
Buchanan's
I thought.
an inside.
Okay.
Yeah. You're looking mostly. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Mike. What were you going to say?
No, I was just saying you're mostly looking at younger guys or us potentially. And the other question would be potentially sign somebody. I know that Matthew Judon signed this week, I think in Miami. But is there a chance that they go out and get a somebody who's out there, like we talked about Jadeveon Clowney forever? Is that a chance that they do that instead of Ojabo that they don't believe in?
Yeah, I mean, you got to remember how the Ravens do with their draft picks. And Ojabo, what was a second-round draft pick? I think, something like that. They don't like to give up on those guys too soon. And sometimes they just are. I mean, he obviously had an injury-riddled past, but he just, I don't know, sometimes a light bulb comes on. I don't know if he did enough to warrant them not bringing someone else in. So to me, they probably could solidify somebody else, whether it's a Clowney, which he knows the system pretty well already. But I don't know. I mean, he missed a good portion of last year, I believe, too, being injured. So, and he doesn't, if you remember when they signed him last time, he didn't come to training camp much. So these guys, when they get older, they're kind of over that. I don't know what your thoughts are, John.
I'd see Ajabo at least making the roster to start with because, he was a top 10. He was projected to be in the top 10 until he tore his Achilles at his pro day at the University of Michigan. So, the time he spent in Baltimore has been injury plagued. And I think this is the first year where he has no injuries, no little nicks and cuts, nothing. So I think this is going to be his big opportunity to show, okay, he really deserved a first round pick if he hadn't gotten hurt. But I don't know. I like Clowney though, because I keep seeing it popping up on Twitter and all these other places, or X, all these other places that, his place of choice would be Baltimore. So, I mean, do you have two over 30, 35-year-old outside pass rushers in Van Noy and Clowney, or do you just kind of run with what you got?
Yeah, so just real quick, guys, I know I'm talking a lot about roster, but there are a couple other little spots just to talk about. The first one is, inside linebacker. And Jason, Teddy Buchanan is somebody that you brought up. And Clifton Brown has Roquan Smith, Trenton Simpson, Jake Hummel, and Teddy Buchanan making those inside linebacker positions. That does not include Jay Higgins, right? That had performed really well in the preseason. What are your thoughts on Jay not being on the roster according to Clifton?
John,
I liked Higgins. I thought Higgins was going to be a pretty good lock to be on this because I just don't have confidence in Simpson. He just does not exude the confidence that's needed to play in the middle of this defense, play alongside Roquan. So, not that they're going to cut Simpson, because again, like you always mention, Jason, they don't use up their draft capital just to get rid of people. I think Simpson will get another shot, but I thought Higgins played himself onto this team, and it may be difficult to get him onto the practice squad and have him pass through waivers and everything, because he did show up that very, very well in the training camp and the preseason.
Yeah, I mean, I've been very high on Buchanan, but I'm also high on Higgins. I think if they could find I don't know if they could sneak him on to the practice squad or not. I mean, again, these teams, like I said last week, they keep an eye on what the Ravens do. So if they decide to do that, then they might snatch him up. But I mean, I don't think you could go wrong. Like Clifton Brown's pretty good with his predictions. With he has his finger on the pulse. The Ravens pretty good, but it depends on what they want to do. Like if they do value the safety position, so if they want to get another safety, then they won't keep that extra linebacker.
Yeah, and I think Jason, that was the point I was going to make. Is it kind of depends on these other positions, right, and how many you keep there. So right now, Clifton has them keeping 7 defensive cornerbacks, and with the last one being Keon Martin, who had played really well and has had a pick in the last couple of games in the preseason. And I think they do like to reward these guys who show, in the games. I think they value the games. And then but the one that I question, he has 5 safeties, and you said they like, being a little deeper at the safety. He has Hamilton, Starks, Sanusi Kane, Ruben Lowry, and he has them also keeping Bo Braid. To me, it might be a Braid versus Higgins situation, or a Braid, Higgins, Martin situation. You can keep 2 out of the 3, and one of them maybe doesn't make the cut. So I think you bring a good point in, Jason. We talk about other positions making a difference in whether or not they can keep that particular player.
Yeah, and I think, too, it's going to be is who's going to be a more valuable member on the special teams? Who fits into the, punt block and kick return and all these other things better? Because that's what they're going to be. Is they're not going to see much of the field on defense, but they're going to see the field on the special teams. And I think that's going to kind of come down to who's the better fit on that side too. And Harbs, is a special teams guy, and they'll make a good decision. But I thought they were going to carry six cornerbacks and then the extra linebacker. But I don't have any inside knowledge on that.
It's so funny that everyone says that John Harbaugh is a special teams guy because he coached special teams at one point, but he also coached defensive backs. And it's so funny because the only reason why he left special teams to coach defensive backs is because Andy Reid told him that he had a better shot at being a head coach by being a defensive backs coach than to being a special teams coach. So it's funny because he actually switches things around at that point, but he just got this reputation of being this great special teams guy, even though he really is just pretty all around picking the right coaches to do different things. Well, these upcoming weeks, we'll definitely give you guys our final predictions on how we think the Ravens are going to do, where they're going to finish and whatnot. And then we'll be here with any breaking news that we need to do. So, I mean, John, do you have a special ad read you'd like to do for?
I do.
Uncle
This episode is brought to you by the Baltimore Traffic Survival Kit. Comes with 3 stress balls, a crab-shaped horn, and an audiobook of someone yelling, "Use your blinker" for 2 straight hours. Perfect for getting you through the Beltway on a Friday at 5 p.m.
You unoriginal bastard in your little chat GPT.
Your AI world you live in.
Right. Well, I'm saying that the segment was brought to you by mayonnaise and butter sandwiches, making the Friskies Dad Bods the best since 1983.
Yes. That is excellent. That is the winner right now.
And I did not put it in chat GPT.
It better not be on whole wheat bread either, because we have an issue if it's on whole wheat bread.
Wonder bread, white Wonder bread, Mike. All right. So real quick, and I'll try not to take up too much time with this because I'm sure it's like great podcasting time. But we do have our fantasy football draft coming up this week. Looks like we had one little scheduling thing, so it might be Thursday evening. I'll have final things coming out, but we do have our 12 guys, and I'm going to quickly go through and pick the 12 in the draft positions so that you guys can kind of prepare ahead of time. I know a lot of people like to know where they're picking. So the first name that I pick is going to pick last. So we're going to go backwards. So whoever gets selected first gets the 12th pick. So here, as you can see, my little pirate Oriole hat, Annie. And the first person that I'm selecting is Steve Sweeney. Scuba Steve. All right. And then the second person is Drew Cordula.
Oof. Those are two softball legends. Steve and our slow pitch team just won our third straight co-ed championship, by the way. Shout out to Steve.
Yeah, I wanted to mention I didn't see you in the picture there, Mike. Does that mean that they won because you were not there, or how did
Yeah, I
that
think
work?
that's probably a safe bet. If you're gambling in Vegas, John, you probably should have taken that one.
All right, and the next
Steve
selection.
didn't like that, Jason.
He didn't. What did he say?
Rigged.
Oh my goodness!
We should have had Jess. We should have had Jess or your daughter or somebody else
Oh,
draw
crap.
these names.
Hold on, I just put the other two names back in.
Back in the
One-
hat.
1 second.
Oh man.
This is just. Oh
This is Jason mixing it up and putting his name there right in the
Yes,
center
that's
heart
exactly
of
what I'm
the
doing.
bag.
All right.
Yes.
Jesus Christ! All right,
Oh my
because I
gosh.
just picked Steve again. When I all right. Oh, look at this, Fritz.
Oh, Fritzy.
All right. So Fritz picks 10th, Drew picks 11th, and Steve picks 12th. And Steve, calm down. I just picked 12th in one the other day, and and I did just fine. Don't you worry. All right.
We're professional, Donovan. Professional.
He said,
Donovan said this definitely seems like a legit operation.
Robbie, cousin Robbie, Mike.
Oh, cousin Robbie from the Frisky Cousins. There's lots of us.
Oh man! All right, don't put that one back in the hat. Here we go. Okay, this guy. Oh, Colin Moderman. Oh my gosh! I'm putting all the softball
AKA
players
Mongo.
at the back end of the
Yeah.
draft. All right, let's see who we got. Mike Frisky.
Yeah, I know that guy.
Frike Miskey. All right,
That's it.
here we go. And this one is Dave Merritt. Merritt. Picking 6th. It's Dave Merritt. Michael Frisky picking 7th. And Colin Moderman picking 8th. And all right. Oh, grab 2. Nope, just 1. Jeff. Your coworker, Jeff?
Yes.
Please don't let me have the first pick and then everyone yell at me.
You were.
Please don't let me have the first pick.
Jess picking 5th.
Yes, Jeff is picking 5th. All right.
Thursday night at 8:30.
Yes. It'll be in the email here in a minute. John, you are picking 4th. Oh, this is getting iffy, Mike.
We need to
Like,
review this if Jason's picking first.
I feel like Mike needs to write 3 names real quick and draw off out of his hat.
Do you want me to pretend I'm drawing names out of a hat, Jason?
I feel like you need to take over this before something bad happens. Oh no, Donovan. This can't be right.
If you pick first, Jason, we need to have
I
like
don't
Allie
wanna
or
pick-
Jess or somebody else pick the names.
All right, here we go. Oh, this could be bad. This one is good. Jason. Okay. All right. Who'd I forget? Who's left?
Just enough to make it seem legit, Jason. Well done. Well done.
All right. And Tom picks first. That's another frisky-ish member. All right. So Tom picks first. Jason picks second. Donovan third. John fourth. Jeff fifth. Dave 6th. Mike 7th. Colin 8th. Robbie 9th. Fritz 10th. Drew 11th. And Steve 12th. And I will get all of this stuff out for you guys in case you missed it. All right. So that is the end of that one. John, do you have another?
That segment was
awesome
brought to you
segment?
by Cheating Jason. No, I'm kidding.
Yes.
That is so
Yes.
terrible. You
No,
have-
that segment was brought to you by Prairie Point Brewing in Mayer, Minnesota, where we brew beer in the garage regardless of the temperature outside. The master brewer just needed a master's degree from Johns Hopkins and the University of Maryland in order to complete his batches of hard apple cider, light and dark beer.
Oh my God.
Brought to you by Prairie Point Brewing.
So unoriginal. All right. It was actually brought to you by the law offices of Dewey, Cheatham, and Howe, picking fantasy picks for Jason for the last 20 years. All right. Okay. Our last segment. Mike, you have our final segment of the evening, which is going to be ballpark figures. Do you have anything exciting for us this evening?
I always have something exciting. So in
Oh, no, I
ballpark
just
figures,
realized. Hold on. I just realized I got to be partners with John again. Oh, crap. Sinking in.
Oh man, I'm sorry. So with ballpark figures tonight, as always, we have a top 10 list that I've found somewhere on the interweb, and you guys have to fill out the top 10. So tonight's category, it's the top 10 highest grossing baseball movies of all time. Top 10 highest grossing at the box office baseball movies of all time.
Field of
Okay.
Dreams, that has to be on there. Jason, Field of Dreams?
Oh, sure.
I wasn't going to say yes or no until Jason okayed it.
Field of Dreams.
Field of Dreams is number 5 with 64.3 million.
John, what about A League of Their Own?
That's what I was thinking. Yes.
Is that an
Yes,
official guess?
Yes.
All right. A League of Their Own, number 1 all time.
No!
107.5 million. There's no crying in
Moneyball.
baseball, boys.
Moneyball.
Moneyball. Yeah, let's do that one. Sure.
You give that one your stamp of approval? Dewey, Cheatham,
I
and Howe?
guess. Sure.
All right. Moneyball, number 3 all time. 75.6 million. Nominated for 6 Oscars, including Best Picture.
Oh, fantastic. What was the one?
Bull Durham.
Okay, sure. Let's do it. Bull Durham, Mike.
Bull Durham is your next one? All right, let me see. Bull Durham. Where are you? Are you here? Yes, number 8. 50.8 million. Kevin Costner in baseball again. Big surprise.
What was the Jackie Robinson one, John?
42.
Yeah, 42, Mike.
Oh, no, I just need the top 10. I don't need 42.
Wow.
Okay, 42 is number 2 all time with 95 million.
Okay.
Before he became Black Panther, Chadwick Boseman starred as the Dodgers' great Jackie Robinson.
Fantastic, Mike.
What about The Sandlot? I don't know if that was good at the box office or just became like a nostalgic hit afterwards.
Yeah, we can go with it. Why not?
Sandlot is your guess?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, I do not see it. That's not good. Hold on.
Boo.
I don't see it in the top 10. I'm seeing if it's on the list somewhere before you guys. It's number 18. 32.4 million. Strike one.
That was my worry that it was too like it got nostalgic afterwards.
What about The Natural, John? Or is
yes.
that you think
that was going to be another guess? The Natural.
The Natural, Mike?
You are so close, but The Natural was number 11. 47 million.
So which ones? So what do we have so far? League of Their Own was number 1.
Correct. You have A League of Their Own at 1. You have 42, which was number 2. Moneyball at number 3. You don't have number 4. You had 5, Field of Dreams. And you had number 8 at Bull Durham.
Oh man, what about John? What about Major Leagues? Do you think, or
Yeah.
is it too much of a comedy like that? It wouldn't.
Well, like that was I was thinking is Major League like The Sandlot, where like it's really a good movie, but it didn't hit in the box office. That's, I mean, yeah.
You want to put it in the proverbial pocket?
Yes, put it in your back pocket.
Okay. Damn.
What about
what am I missing?
Fever Pitch?
You're missing. So I'll help you out a little bit. You're missing a movie from 2002. You're missing. I don't really. It's a goofy ass movie.
The Rookie. It's The Rookie. The Rookie.
There, you're missing. You're missing one. You're missing 2, I believe. They're not years on this one from the 90s.
Jason,
Okay.
the rookie.
Sure, we can do the rookie. Mike.
I do like that movie, The Rookie. Number 4 all time, The Rookie,
Really?
75.6 million.
Huh?
Yep,
Jimmy
the
Moore.
true story of Jim Morris.
So we got a couple
2002.
90s.
2002 wouldn't be that Keanu Reeves movie.
No, that was the
You-
rookie. The rookie was
The
2000.
Rookie was
No.
number 2. Yeah.
Oh, okay,
So you have
cool.
top 5.
Fabulous.
You're missing 6. You're missing 7. You're missing 9 and 10. And all movies you should know.
Oh man.
You think Fever Pitch is on this list? No, you said
Yeah.
90s, right? You said all
Yeah.
these movies were from the 90s, right?
What was that Black
They're not
Sox?
all, but there are a couple from the 90s. Yeah.
Well, there was that the Black Sox movie.
Yeah, but I can't remember.
8
what
Men
it was
Out.
called.
8 Men Out.
Mike, is that on there?
Are you guessing that officially?
Yeah, we'll guess that. We'll guess 8 Men Out.
No.
I didn't think so. I don't know why I
It
guessed it.
is. Hold on. I want to see if it's on this list at all.
Probably not. Gosh, what are we
It
missing?
is not.
We are missing.
Oh, Angels in the Outfield? I don't know. I'm going baseball movies.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that was a remake too. I don't know. Yeah, I would go with Angels in the Outfield, Mike.
You
Why
got to
not?
believe. You just got to believe.
It could happen.
Number 9, Angels in the Outfield, 50.2 million.
So
Oh,
we're
what about
missing
like
how
the
many?
rookie? What about the rookie of the year?
Pitcher's got
I
a
don't
big
know.
butt.
Yeah, yeah.
I
Rookie of
don't
the
know.
year.
I mean,
What's
sure.
what's the one where he owns the Twins?
Yeah, I don't think that one did as well.
That's Little
League.
Big League.
Little Big
Yeah.
League. Yeah,
I don't think it did as well.
I'm just going through baseball movies in my head, trying to figure out what's on this list.
2 of my favorite movies, by the way, ever. But
Frankenfurter.
Rosenbagger. Every time I see Roger Rosengarten on the thing, I'm thinking that movie. Every time I hear them say his name.
Seems pretty popular.
Not.
Yeah, let's go with Rookie of the Year, Mike.
All right. Rookie of the Year is number 7, 53.6 million.
How many more do we need?
Back when the Chicago Cubs were still lovable losers.
Nice. How many more do we need?
Did we guess Major League, Jason?
You did
Or we
not.
put that
It
in our
is in
back
your
pocket?
back pocket.
No, we're gonna use Major League.
All right. Major League is number 10 all time.
Oh, fantastic!
With 49.7 million.
Good job.
So
Where are we at?
you are only missing number 6, which I guess it's a baseball movie. It didn't come to my mind right away. It's kind of a goofy movie.
Okay. Oh. Was it in the 90s?
Let me check real quick because it doesn't say on here. I want to see when it was for you.
I might need a clue, Mike, since it's not a baseball
2006.
movie. Okay, that's not the one I was thinking.
No, that's where.
Fever Pitch. Fever Pitch. Go with Fever Pitch.
Yeah.
Nope, that's strike 2, unfortunately.
Oh,
I think Fever Pitch was number, I want to say it was number 12. I have to look again.
It was number stupid.
Numbers, so 2006. It wasn't really a baseball movie, but it was kind of a baseball movie.
Mike.
What the heck? Mike?
I mean, it's a baseball movie, but it's not like in the same ilk as some of these other movies. It's a comedy.
Okay.
Oh, Benchwarmers.
I've never seen Benchwarmers. Sure. Why not? Go with John.
That's it. That is it.
Oh my gosh. Look at you, John. See, I would never have guessed it because I've never seen it.
59.8 million.
Oh, Jason, you need to watch it. It's a great movie. It's hilarious.
Rob Schneider and David Spade. Oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
It's a classic, Jason. It's a good one. I think you would like it.
Well, congrats,
Hey,
guy.
Come on, Clark.
I think you pretty much did that without 3 strikes. I think you did a great job tonight, boys. Well done.
Oh, absolutely.
Well, that was brought to you by Old Bay Cologne. Tired of the same old colognes, Axe, Old Spice? Nah, real Maryland men wear Old Bay Cologne. One spritz, and people will know you're ready for steamed crabs, natty bow, and maybe a Ravens tailgate. Old Bay Cologne attracts crabs and repels out-of-towners.
This ad was brought to you. This segment was brought to you by the Landscraner family. If it's free, it's me.
Does Old Bay really attract crabs? I'm not sure how that works.
I think Old Bay would repel crabs because if they smell Old Bay, they're going in the pot.
John, do
That's right.
you feel good? Do you feel good that you didn't come up with a natural thought at all, like an original
did.
natural thought? No, you did
I
not.
did.
You put it in a computer and it kicked out
No, I
some
didn't.
information. This is
No,
what is wrong with our youth today, Mike.
I came up with one.
Yeah, his dad. He advertised for his dad's brewing company
It's
in his
fantastic.
garage. Yeah, that was about it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, this has been fantastic. We will talk to you all on Wednesday. Mike, did you wanna finish us off?
Let's wrap this
Please?
puppy up. Let's wrap it up. Put a nice bow on it. Thanks for joining us tonight for this episode of Dad Bods, Crab Cakes, and Sports. We appreciate you joining us and hanging out with us. Don't forget, please subscribe to our podcast on Red Circle, Spotify, Apple, Amazon Podcast, wherever you get your free podcasts. Like, review, follow us, give us a 5-star rating. It really helps us out in spreading the good word about Baltimore sports far and wide. And be sure to follow us on social media. Check out our little videos. Maybe we'll have more things. Jason picking things out of a hat. Lots of fun things that go on there. Behind the scenes, memes, sports takes. You can find us at dadbods_crabcakes_sports on Instagram and at dadbods crabcakes and sports on our Facebook page or at crab dad something sport, whatever John made up for the X page. What is it, John?
Crabcake_sports.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Well done.
And so follow us on all those social media platforms. If you have a question you'd like us to answer or a topic you'd like us to cover, hit us up at dadbodscrabcakesandsports@gmail.com. And you never know, we might just shout you out in our next episode. But until next time, keep eating those crab cakes, watching those games, and never miss them.
Adios.
Adios.